Good evening from Manchester, Kentucky. Our first day in Kentucky this time around in Eastern. We were in extreme Western Kentucky last December for Mayfield following the tornado. We are in extreme Eastern Kentucky this time for or because of the flash flooding. I drove last night till about midnight. Stopped at a hotel. Thought I'd get a few hours of sleep and a shower. And I didn't fall asleep until like 3 o'clock. I just couldn't sleep, get comfortable. The mattress was fucking terrible. The pillows sucked. The girl at the front desk was great. I just couldn't sleep. And then I fell asleep about 3 o'clock. And then my wake up call came at 4 o'clock. Got on the road and made it to Feisty Dwarf Fire Department in, oh God, Knox. What county is it in? I can never remver.
I think it's
Knott County.
Knott County. Yes.
Knott. Knott. And met Chief Fugate there, Steve. It was what I expected, but even worse than I expected. Like I didn't realize the water had gotten so high. And then when you see this little tiny trickle of a creek across this little road from their station, like you could walk through it and your ankles wouldn't get wet. But that fucking thing caused 10 feet plus wave of water and flooding, frankly, in that entire area. Death toll is up to 37 officially. The majority of those are in Knott County, 17, and most of those were right in Feisty. It looks like Fisty, by the way, F-I-S-T-Y, but it's pronounced Feisty. A feisty dwarf. I hate
Yes.
the location. Um, yeah, that was that. Then we went to the Sportsplex, where Knott County EMA has a distribution center set up for all the civilian-based things. That's where FEMA decided to park their camper and wait for the people to arrive. I still don't know if they've arrived. There's a command post there for the gas company. There's a lot of assets there, a lot of volunteers there, and some supplies being dropped off. Not a whole lot. You think there'd be a lot more. There really wasn't that much. They're actually FEMA just arrived today, by the way, because it just happened 6 days ago. Anyway, not about FEMA. Fuck FEMA. I mean, sorry. And then we spoke with the EMA director there and established a line of communications and a set concrete plan for the supplies that will be coming down from Palisades Regional Fire Rescue out of Bucks, who's hauling everything down. The fire stuff is going to go about a mile down the road to a fire department for storage and distribution. And again, the civilian stuff is going to go, a mile up the road to the Sportsplex for delivery and distribution to civilians. Then we drove. Well, after the distribution center, I asked the EMA director if there was anything I could do for him that day, right then and there. And he said they were having trouble getting water to some places in the outer lying areas and asked me if I would help. And I said, sure, how do I help? And he said, you got to wait for a truck to come and then you can hop on and help them, whatever. I said, listen, I've got an SUV. I will move the stuff in the back, put it on the back seat, and you can load the water. It will load the water in the back of the truck. You just give me directions, I'll take it. And that's what he did. And we took it to an elementary school and dropped off. We posted pictures of those people from the elementary school. I think we did. No, maybe we didn't.
Yes, and actually we have them available.
Oh, let's show them. The picture you're about to see of the volunteers with the gallons of distilled water that we carried over with the deployer there on the right-hand side. And again, these people are just, if you look at this picture, the boxes there are the ones they brought over, some of the boxes that I brought over, and that's 3 gallons each of distilled water. Behind them is more drinking water. You don't see anything else because nobody, not a single person in several counties, and particularly Knott County, has water right now. None. The municipal water that is supplied to some areas is completely turned off, will not be turned on for at least a week because of damage. And then after it is turned on, they're going to have to wait even longer until the water is clean enough and clear enough and safe enough to drink. Even with the boil advisory, you're not going to be able to do that. So they're months out of having water. And then those people with wells don't have electric, so they can't pump the water out of the wells. And the wells are contaminated with storm debris and, well, frankly, potentially carcasses of critters and humans. Again, the death toll's up to 37. There are hundreds of people still missing. Hundreds.
Yeah,
There are
if you remember
there are
today,
who's
Peter, we met a new friend, Cody. He's got family down there. They are hearing in the area immediately around Hazard potentially 6 months without water.
they are saying that some areas down here are not going to have electric until winter's over. I mean, there are areas that the telephone poles are just gone. Not the wires knocked down, and not just the poles broken or knocked down. The fucking poles washed away. There's no sign of infrastructure, electrical infrastructure at all. We took a picture. Chris, do you have the picture of the substation?
Yes, we do.
I believe this is Hamlin. I think the town was Hamlin. This is the town, by the way, that was made famous. Well, when we first talked about the flooding, well, the very first picture we showed last week was a picture of a fire truck in water, an old 80s Ford Bean fire truck that was under a bridge in the creek. I stopped by there today and talked to those fellows and saw that fire truck. Know that the water has receded a lot. That picture right there. No, look at this. Don't change this picture yet, Chris. That is, well, you see the fire truck. It's in the water. Chris, you have the updated picture from that angle? That is how fucking high the water got. And that creek is probably, they said it's up like 4 or 5 times what it should be. That creek should also be maybe shin deep. But the devastation that this creek caused is crazy. And you can see even when that photograph of the truck still in the water was taken, that there is debris on top of that fire truck. The water was over that fire truck, over that bridge. This is after the water had been receding. There's a picture here of a dumpster. This fire truck was parked next to the dumpster, and the flood waters got up to this dumpster right here. That's how high the waters were, and you can see the debris on top of the guardrail. And that fucking truck just floated and got washed and wedged up against the bridge abutment. Thankfully, it hit the bridge abutment. Otherwise, it would have gone under the bridge and ended up God knows where. There are a lot of vehicles in the creeks and in the areas around the creeks where the floodwater has gotten to. Most of the vehicles have been searched. In some of the outlying areas, they're still searching for bodies. They just haven't had people to get to some of those areas. And frankly, some of those areas are virtually inaccessible by ground. But they're trying. They're trying very hard to get to everyone.
Seeing a comment come in here, I want to bring to your attention real quick. Came in about a minute or so ago from Joan Walco.
Hey, Joan. Joan, by the way, a longtime fan and a big supporter of The Weather Cares.
Thank goodness for you. Less than 30 seconds on the network news.
Yep, that's why we're here, Joan.
How about we tell some more stories? We'll go back to the picture of the.
Well, hang on. When we yeah, go ahead, Pierce. When we were going, the only reason we found this place, by the way, the place with the fire truck, purely accidental. We drove that water from the distribution center to that elementary school, and I saw the damage in the downtown. Do you have the downtown pictures?
Let me take a look here.
So we were going to the elementary school, and I saw the stuff piled up on the sidewalks in this town, dropped off the water, and we came back that way to look at it. And I turned left to try and get some pictures of it, and it just so happened that we came across that firehouse where that fire truck was in the river, or creek, I should say, creek. It was not a river. It looks like a river. It wasn't a creek, a very small creek. Stopped, talked to those fellows for a while. But we also noticed as we were driving to the elementary school, there was a barbecue place, a barbecue joint, cooking barbecue. And of course, I was starving, and Chris was hungry too. And I could smell it. He couldn't, but I was like, hell, that's a barbecue place. Maybe we'll stop there and eat. Well, then I realized as we were coming out that they were giving the food away. The two fellas, let me get their names here real quick. Pardon me. These two fellas, the guy on the left and the guy on the right, are from Bloomington, Indiana.
Uh,
They own a side-by-side business,
that is
like an old
Travis
trade.
Vince and Chad Harding.
Travis on the left, Chad on the right. They own a side-by-side business in Bloomington. They come down to this part of Kentucky a couple times a year to go four-wheeling and side-by-siding. And when they heard about this, they contacted their buddy at Great White Smoke and said, "Hey, dude, we need your food truck." And their buddy at Great White Smoke said, "Fucking take it." Gave them smokers. I don't know if they have the pictures of the smokers. Oh, there they are. And these fuckers set up shop and they were giving food away. Giving food away to flood victims. No questions asked. You walked up, you wanted food, they gave you food. Pulled pork, pulled chicken, I think it was green beans, and I want to say potato salad or mac and cheese or something that smelled fucking amazing. He offered me a sandwich. I didn't take it because it wasn't for me. It was for the flood victims. But the reason we stopped here is because I gave them money. We have cash through donations from you, and this cash in particular was from DeSASTER Team, four DeSASTER teams from softball. So we gave them money. Then as we moved down back into the town to get pictures of the damage on the sidewalks, I noticed outside on the sidewalk in amongst the debris was a couple ladies who were also got meals. And I stopped there, walked up to them and said, "Hey, are these meals free?" They said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, here's some money for you, more food." And they were very gracious. Then when I turned around to get in my car, across the street was a couple older couples, in the same from Western Kentucky to set up a little thing to give free hot meals. And I walked up to them and I said, "You guys associated with them?" And they were like, "Well, yes and no. Their church, we contacted them. They said there was a need, so we drove out here to help. We're going to serve them." So they free? Yes. Here's some money. They're like, "No, what?" Take the money. Buy more food with it. That's what the guys in Bloomington said too. They didn't want the money. I said, then give the money to the people. Give it $20 to the first excuse me. Give a $20 bill to the first 10 people that walk through your line. And they were like, "No, no, no, no." I'm like, then buy food with it. They were like, "That's what we'll do. We'll buy food. We'll use the money to buy more food for tomorrow," which is fucking great. That's what they're going to do. And I should mention back at the firehouse where the fire truck was in the water, there was a Mennonite group that was also doing that. They had a kitchen set up that they were distributing right behind it. So if I'm standing here looking at these guys from the firehouse here, behind me is where they were set up. Hindeman, that's it. Um, I walked over to them and said, "Who's in charge?" They're like, "Well, no one's really in charge." I said, "I have money for you." "No, we can't take your money." I tried and they tried and they wouldn't take it, wouldn't take it. There was a little kid and I gave it to the little kid and he fucking snatched it. And then they started to walk away. I said, "Can I take your picture?" He said, "No, our religion, something or other." I respected them, did not take their picture, but they got a bunch of money too, to help them cover whatever expenses they have coming from Ohio. And then there's these guys. I'm going to forget their names. We introduced ourselves and I talked to their chief on the phone. These are the fellas that had the fire truck that was in the water, which would be to our left here as we're standing looking at them. The one, two on the left, oh, sorry, three on the left and the one on the right are firefighters, all volunteers. The second kid, and they're all kids. Second one from the right is their captain. And they started, another name came up, one of our contacts came up, and there was some talk about that person's personality. But we started talking about bodies. They started talking about plucking bodies out of the water and getting bodies that were trapped. And we didn't talk, but I stopped them because I could see it was distressing the one kid. So I changed the subject real quick. And we talked about their fire apparatus and their American La France telescope work that they got there. And then I left. But I'm going to go back tomorrow because I think that story needs to be told. And more importantly, I mean, for them, for their own well-being, they need to tell those stories. They can't keep those stories inside. I know from experience, you've got to tell those stories. I'm going to go back tomorrow. And not just because those kids need to talk about their experiences this last 4 or 5 days. Everyone needs to hear this story. They need to hear the stories. Tomorrow is going to be dedicated to recording and sharing stories. First responders, victims, the residents, and people who have come from out of town to help. I want to tell all those stories tomorrow. I'm going to drive around wherever I go and I'm going to try and get people to talk to me about their experiences. Again, the citizens, the first responders, and again, the volunteers who have come to help out. That is critical. Joan just said a little while ago, um, it was only 30 seconds on the national nightly news. That we're here, friends. We went to Waverly when nobody was talking about Waverly. We went to Mayfield before anybody was talking about Mayfield. And as the news is, the day it happens, they talk about it for 45 seconds or a minute. And then the next day, they're gone. They've moved along. The drama is over. They can't really pump up the excitement anymore, and they can't dramatize it, so they move on to the next story. The needs are still there. The needs get worse. The needs here are worse. That's why we're here, to help them, because a lot of people don't know about it. We can. We will. We do. But we need to tell their stories because someone has to tell their stories. And the more people that hear their stories, hopefully the more people will be inclined to help. That's the goal for tomorrow, is to create some content so people will hear their stories and they will be, I don't want to say inclined to help. I want them to be touched in some way. Not in a Palmerton family reunion touch kind of way, but in a heartfelt, emotional, sentimental way. I want people to hear those stories, the images, and hear the voices. The voices will fucking get you every single time. When I spoke to Chief Fregan the feisty dwarf chief Steve, when I spoke to him the first time on the phone, he cried within 30 seconds, and I just let him cry. I didn't know what to fucking say to the guy. Today he got a little emotional. Well, we've talked several times since then, but today he was a little less emotional because we've known each other. We built up a little bit of a rapport. But man, if you watch that man's video that we posted earlier, just listen to his voice and you will hear everything. You can close your eyes, not know about the damage, not know any of the images, not know any of the things that we've been sharing and talking about. Just close your eyes, hit play. Well, you should probably hit play first because your eyes will be closed, you won't see it. Hit play, close your eyes, and just listen to that man's voice. Listen to him. The tone, the inflection, the emotion, the hurt. You can hear the fucking hurt. If you've watched that video, you didn't hear the hurt, I promise you, watch that video again and close your eyes. You will hear the pain. You will fucking hear it. Tomorrow, when I talk to these people and I start posting their stories and their videos tomorrow, well, I shouldn't say that. I'm going to be recording them in an interview, and Chris will be the one who actually uploads and edits and whatever. But when you do that tomorrow and you listen to those interviews and their stories, look at them so you can see their faces, so you can visualize their face when they're talking. But as soon as you do that, close your eyes and listen to the rest of it. And you will get a whole new appreciation, you'll be impacted in a completely different way, a much more meaningful and deeper way, just by listening to that story. It's, I don't know, man. If there was a way for me to share these stories, to share the images, the experiences with everyone in the world, I fucking would. I can't. I have this stupid little weather page. And we're doing our best. And before we move on here, it is not just me, by the way, Clark. There's Chris, who you guys all know from producing WYCEL. There's Amy, who you know from like pulling everything together for the tournaments and events. There's Lori. There's Erica. There's Rich Young. You know Rich. You know Mike Sinatti, Joe Mead, Rob. It's so many people behind the scenes that make what I do and what you see me doing, and you see the results of what we all do. It makes it seem like it's so easy for me to do. It would be so fucking difficult without them behind the scenes. They don't get any of the fucking glory. And I told them today, what did I say, Chris? Come on camera a second.
Yeah, bud.
What did I say you guys were today? The fuel to my motor or something like that?
Something along those lines. I may not have been in there for that one.
Before I controlled myself from singing Wind Beneath My Wings.
Yes. I will say we do a lot here. You and I work a lot together. Especially when before you took the promotion at work. We were more than daily phone calls with each other. But there's a sort of business-ish relationship there. The people that have given literal days of their time in the last 48 hours has been incredible. Erica and Lori,
Listen,
this does
and
not happen without the two of them.
and
Mark
this is not
being
like
in and out,
like
Andy, Bubba. There's
this is
just
not
so
just
many of them.
giving their this is not just giving their days. They were up until Lori was up until like 1 o'clock in the morning with me last night working stuff out, and she was up at the crack of ass this morning. He was on Discord at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock before I was.
Yeah.
I mean, they're on 12, 18 hours a day, and they're doing all kinds of things, working out how to get from point A to point B, working out how we're going to get these supplies to these supplies, getting back to people who want to know what to do, how to do it, where to get it. It is an absolute team effort. And again, I know you see my face. My face is the face of it, and goddamn, I wish it wasn't. And then Chris, of course. You know what? Chris will like this analogy because Chris is a motorhead. It's like in NASCAR. Chase Elliott wins the race and he gets all the credit. He gets the trophy. He gets to hug the Winston girl or whatever the hell they are nowadays. They even have them anymore. Anyway, he's the one that gets to spray the bottle of champagne. But it's all the pit crews, the pit guys that are outside the camera view. It's all the guys back in the hauler who never get to see the cameras who make all that happen. It's the guys back in Charlotte in the shop who never get to race day. Those are the people that deserve all the credit. They're the ones who get to the victory.
That is quite literally the best analogy that you could possibly make, because anymore,
I told you would love it.
The way those teams operate, NASCAR, IndyCar, F1, they have actual command centers that people go into work. They're at the racetrack, but they're not at the track. They're sitting at home base, at home, wherever, and they're the ones that are monitoring all sorts of things. I mean, we probably should have killed you today on Kentucky Highway 80. We were literally putting, I wish I could pull up and get Google Earth in here easily, because we were literally putting GPS pins down every time we lost track of Peter.
I like to call that travel voodoo, by the way.
But I mean, literally, these are people that it's not just the weather cares and, hey, we've got a job to do or something. We actually kind of give a shit about each other, which is pretty fantastic.
The hotel last night wouldn't have had it without them. This hotel right now would not have had it without them.
Yeah. The directions getting you off of 80 and back to a highway literally saved hours.
Listen, if you're ever in Kentucky and someone tells you to take Route 80, kick them in the balls, slap them in the face, shove a stick up their ass, and say no.
Yeah. Their definition of 80 and ours is a little bit different.
Yeah. Kentucky Route 80. Kentucky Route 80 is not Interstate 80, my friends.
No, it is.
In fact, in some parts of the Kentucky Route 80, Kentucky Route 80 is not even Kentucky Route 80. It is a ground or a creek.
Yeah, right now it's literally flooded out.
Washed out.
The pictures don't even do it justice. I mean,
they really
I'm going to pull these up. This was across the street from the elementary school that you did the water drop off at. Correct. This is literally marshland. That is 8 to 10 feet down.
This water right here is normally 5-6 feet wide and about ankle deep. That water right there is 10 plus feet deep. And huge. That whole valley is flooded.
Rich Young says 80 is the route number, not the speed limit, by the way. Yeah, it's just been... This has been a very trying couple of days. And these things always are. You're not walking into something easy. We're walking into hard.
When you look at the pictures those of you watching this, when you were looking at the pictures from Feisty Dwarf today and seeing the water, if you look at the one fire truck, I believe it's the white one, their tanker, no 3. Look at the windshield. You can see the line at the top of the windshield of that fire truck. That's easily 8+ feet off the ground. In the mud, there's a picture of their mini Rest 900 unit. You can see the mud on the ground. But the really drives it home. Kristen, I'm going to change the picture, still have it. This is the creek that devastated this area. Let me get the picture here. This creek, Chris, I'm going to send you both pictures of it. This creek that you're seeing, these 10, 12, 16-foot surges of water, and caused the rivers to go 42 feet in depth, the highest the flood waters have ever gotten in the Kentucky River. Chris will get the pictures up here in a second for you.
Yeah, as soon as I get them, anyway. Our buddy Cody is watching tonight.
Hey, Cody. You know what, Cody? Cody, by the way, Cody, for those of you who don't know, and none of you do know, he is in London, Kentucky. He's originally from here in Kentucky, but he moved to London. But he found our page today, found the weather, and when he told us during a live that he was from Kentucky, I was like, wait a minute, how did you find the weather? And I guess he was searching Facebook for live videos on the Kentucky flood. Cody, how do you feel about our posts? Excuse me, our post about this, about what we're doing, and about the floods and the aftermath. As a Kentuckian, how do you feel about it? I'd like to know that.
So there's the creek. Literally, the creek that has caused billions of dollars in damage.
If not trillions.
Literally, you can see the deplorer parked on the edge of the frame.
Yeah.
This creek is literally a deplorer wide.
If that.
And ankle deep.
And maybe, yeah, and the creek bed itself, only if the deplorer was on that creek bed, it might come to the top of the tires. You can see all that mud on the deployer. In fact, my passenger side of my deployer is caked in mud. Driver's side looks great. But they almost virtually plowed the roads of the mud. But that little tiny creek did all this damage, killed so many people, and washed away so much.
Cody, by the way, has answered you. I love what you guys are doing. I see good. I want to see people come out here and get our problem out there. Clearly, they're hurting and they need it.
Amen, brother. And I mean amen in a completely non-religious way. You're absolutely right, my friend.
That was close to a banned word.
Yes, it was. That's if you were, and I know you were in the live earlier. Exactly, and I said it live. That's exactly why we're here. Exactly why we're here, to bring attention to it, to get more people to help and get involved. Exactly why we're here. Tomorrow, again, we're going to record some stories, do some interviews, and get those stories out there. And I'm going to tell you right now, the stories are not going to be good stories. They're going to be horrible, fucking heart-wrenching stories. There might be some good ones. There might be some lighthearted moments. But I'm going to tell you right now that I know 2 of the stories that we're going to talk about tomorrow are going to fucking rip out your heart. There were 4 little siblings who were washed away near Feisty Thursday night, ranging in age from 1.5 to 9 years old. And you're going to hear that story from Well, first of all, someone who knew them and someone searching for them and someone who found 2 of them. That's going to rip your fucking heart out. And it should.
Yeah, these stories are not easy. These are not pleasant. And quite frankly, this is why the news doesn't talk about them. The flood, yes, you can say, hey, Kentucky flooded. Next.
Yeah.
You're not going to hear them talk to a first responder. Unless you can get tears in a 4-second soundbite, we're not going to get the news. We are the news. And that's the only way to get this story told.
This normally we go down to a place like Waverly. We talk maybe a little bit about it, maybe one person's story or something. But we go down, we help out, we move out. This is on a scale that, I mean, obviously I've never seen before. Even in 31 years of emergency services, never seen this. Going to Waverly after their flash flood, going to Slidell after the hurricane, going to Manville, going to Mayfield. This is a level of damage that it's just completely unimaginable. You can't imagine it. You can't. I can describe it all day long. You can't imagine it. It is devastatingly impressive. That's probably a good way to describe it, actually. It's devastatingly impressive. Graham, you got questions?
What was that? You went a little potato there for a second.
Do you have any questions in the comments?
Well, I'm actually working on getting Cody an invite. Well, and everybody else an invite to the Discord here.
Can you send him a VMix link?
Theoretically, yes, we can bring in anybody we want to. In fact, that was initially. I'm going to get myself back on camera here for a second.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My initial thought, and we had this discussion on, I guess, Sunday, was, can't we do some of this remotely? Why do we have? Is there a reason you have to be in Kentucky to tell these stories? We can send VMix links, and we can bring these people in remotely. It just doesn't. It doesn't do it.
Can't do it. Can't do it. You're separated. You're removed. You got to fucking be here. You got to be here. I cannot give you the emotion without feeling the emotion, and you can't get it unless you're here. You just can't.
There's no way to tell these stories without.
Mm-hmm. You can't.
Being
you
in
gotta find the story, first of all. You have to find the story. There are stories within stories here, and you come across them accidentally. You can't find them. You stumble across them. Those kids at Hindman or whatever that was, where the truck was in the water. I stumbled across those kids and stumbled across that story. That's going to be something you got to remember. These kids are kids, late teens, early 20s kids.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and there's a lot to be done. And the link is right up there at the bottom of the screen, ky.theweathercenter.com. We're collecting stuff still. The trucks have not left yet. That is an important thing to remember. There is still time to drop off relief supplies. I'm pulling it up here myself to make sure I don't screw these up. Affordable Pet Center, 2022 Main Street in Northampton during normal business hours. Salami Customs in Walnutport, reach out to them, reach out to us. We'll get you the contact info for drop-off times. And Thomas E. Michael Agency and Michael's Notary LLC on the corner of Stoke Park Road and Old Stoke Park Road during normal business hours. If you have emergency services equipment, any of the Palisades Regional Fire Department stations will take it. Station 40 in Springtown, Station 42 in Regalsville, Station 94 in Ottsville, and the preferred location for drop-offs, Station 49 at 249 Durham Road in Ottsville, right on 412.
We have added some items to our list of things to donate. including generators, trash or portable pumps, if you will, and brooms, mops, shovels, rakes. Cleaning supplies in general. There is a lot of cleanup to do here. A lot. There's a lot of water to move out of places it shouldn't be. And again, no power here. It may not be power for months and months. Some people here, again, will not have power through the winter.
Joe Mead also checking in here. Joe, thank you. If they can't get to Palisades, we can arrange pickup.
Yeah, 100%.
If you're in Lower Bucks County, we'll get there to get it.
We need to get it there tomorrow or Thursday. So if you're going to donate, do it tomorrow or do it Thursday.
So, yeah, and quite frankly, the messages are still bouncing around all over the place. I feel like I'm not a good TV guy because I'm not looking at the camera and talking to you. I'm working 4 screens at the moment, and there's messages coming in on Facebook. There's messages coming in the Discord. There is so much that is still live in real time going on. We didn't know what they needed until you got there.
Also, fucking, I forget what I was going to say, actually. What the hell were we going to say? We were talking about, we gave out, I don't know, a little more than $700. I think it was like about $730, $740 to those 4 food places today. Thank you. Everyone who's donated to Venmo and donated to softball, to the Weather Cares, for the disaster team, that's your money. So your $700+ that we handed out today is going literally to no bureaucratic nonsense, no government red tape bullshit, putting the money in the hand of the people buying and making and sharing the food to get it to the people who need the food. That's exactly why we do what we do. We handed out money in Mayfield to those who could use it, and today, accidentally, we found people who were like, holy fuck, they probably need money because they're giving it for free and they're buying all that shit. So that's what we did. Saw the need and we addressed it. That's exactly what we do.
And quite frankly, we're also working. We work bigger channels too. There's some stuff that I don't know that we can. Well, I don't know if we can mention it yet.
What's that?
The screw it. I'll say it. Yes.
Yeah, we can say it.
Okay.
We're going to send a letter.
Yeah. So Nestle, like the big evil nasty corporation Nestle, those evil people, they're giving us a damn tractor trailer full of water.
Literally a tractor trailer full of pallets of water.
Pallets upon pallets of water. Yeah.
How many bottles is that?
A metric fuck ton. Might be Imperial. I wouldn't even know. Probably what, 24 to a case times however many cases to a pallet.
So what do you got? You get like eight cases to the bottom, and then you stack them up, however many high. I just stopped. How many bottles of water are in the trailer?
Yeah, really. We have Andy Gerard, who is helping coordinate that donation. We'll let somebody else do the math and feed it to me in Discord.
Well, quite frankly, not helping to coordinate that donation is solely responsible for that donation.
Yes, yeah. Andy is the one who got the donation. And the other big thank you, Ed Yesick Trucking. Brandon, the driver, Ed Yesick, he's got a truck. He is sending a truck to pick up the tractor trailer full of water to go to
Ed Yesick, who
Kentucky.
Donated the fire. Ed Yesick, who picked up and delivered the donated fire truck from Penn Forest Township number 2 down to Mayfield, is donating a truck again, not a flatbed this time, but an actual, well, not an actual truck. It's a fucking truck last time too, but a box truck, thing, whatever the fuck the thing is you put the pallets into. And Brandon, who drove down the fire truck last time, is volunteering again to drive it down Eastern Kentucky this time, which, by the way, is a shorter trip.
Yeah. 32,256 bottles of water. Discord is not on the air, by the way, Peter. But Yes, 32,256 bottles of water from Nestle.
I would
Thank you.
also, on a personal note, for Kentucky and frankly Virginia, thank you for still allowing smoking in our hotel rooms.
You can't buy booze in 10 counties in Kentucky, but you can smoke in the hotel room.
You can smoke it.
Oh,
Now that I have you so you can see me, this is what the girl did at the hotel last night. Because Lori reserved the room for me, made it a smoking room. So there was a big giant, COVID plexiglass screen in front of us. And she said, "Do you want?" And I was distracted because I was tired and I was on my phone when I was talking, being rude to her. And do you want a smoking room? And I heard her, but it didn't register. And I looked at her and I said, "I'm sorry, what?" And she went, "Do you want a smoking room?" Like this. I laughed at her. It was funny. I needed to laugh. It was a good laugh.
yes. By the way, among the other donations made today, it sounds like all of your personal medical equipment.
Oh, yeah.
Going
So
to Feisty Dwarf.
when I was talking to Chief at Feisty Dwarf, I said to him, "So are you guys answering calls? Because their trucks are fucked, like literally fucked. Well, not literally fucked, but essentially fucked." He said, "Well, no." He said, he goes, "I'm gonna forget this phrase, Peter. If someone asked me for a Band-Aid right now, I couldn't help him or help them because we have nothing." And that fucking hit me hard. And right then and there, I just said, "Listen, stand here for a second. I'll be right back." I walked over to the deplorer, lifted up the tailgate, grabbed every single piece of my personal medical bags, and walked them back to him and said, "Take them. They're fucking loaded. You can help people with the stuff in these bags. Take them." And he goes, "That really means a lot." And I was like, it's just fucking medical shit. And then when he told me that it meant a lot to him, I was like, well, you know what? It did to me too. So I said, "Hold on, I got one more thing." And I walked back to the truck, grabbed my stethoscope that I have had for 30 plus years and cherish him very love. And I walked back to him and I said, "You're going to want this too." And that was hard to do for me because that scope has been with me for my entire 3+ decades. And nothing. It's going to hopefully help a lot of people in Kentucky now. It's helped a lot of people in Pennsylvania. Hopefully, now it'll help people in Kentucky. But I gave him every shred of medical gear and equipment that I had.
Something I want to make sure we make abundantly clear. Dawn Best checking in, and Dawn, thank you for the comment because this is a point that we really need to make. She says, "I will make sure I buy their water going forward."
Yeah, listen to me.
You know what?
If you ever find yourself in need of fucking tires, Alex Tire will be the place I go to for the rest of my life. That man, one person, Alex from Alex Tire Center in Stockertown, I contacted. Excuse me. He sponsored kickball last year, sponsoring it again this year. I contacted him very late Sunday night. Said, "Listen, I'm going to Kentucky. I need tires. You think you could squeeze me in?" He's like, "Absolutely. Get here by 2. We'll be done by 3. And I asked him how much. He gave me a whole price range of tires. And there was these very expensive tires. There were very expensive tires. And I was like, "Holy shit, anything cheaper?" And he was like, "Yeah, this, and then he gave me cheaper, a relatively cheap." Now, mind you, it's a police vehicle, so it has special tires. But then he said to me after I said, "Okay, I'll take those tires," he goes, No. I'm going to give you the Goodyear tires, the expensive tires, for the cost of the cheap tires." And that motherfucker did. And he charged me for the cheap tires, but gave me the top of the line tires, and he gave me an alignment for free. And he had me in and out in under an hour. No questions asked. Just fucking, here's what you're doing. Here's what you need. Good. Alex, if you're watching this, buddy, Alex Cortezzo, so the fire who they can. That was stand up, like going above and beyond. So Alex Tires, if you ever need fucking tires in Lehigh Valley, Alex Tire Center in Stockertown. And yes, Chris, come on back here and finish what you're saying. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
That's okay. My point was going to be, by the way, sorry for the echo that pops up when I come on here, but that's my voice coming out of his speaker. these big companies, why is it taking us to contact them? It should not take 14 levels of FEMA to get one tractor trailer of water to Kentucky.
All right, first of all, you have to have 14 levels of FEMA in Kentucky to go through the 14 levels of FEMA. We beat FEMA to fucking Kentucky. How is that fucking possible? How the fuck is that possible? How am I giving first aid to a fucking fire department that got wiped out? How am I picking up water from a distribution center, taking it to a place that's hard to reach, people can get fucking water? How am I handing out money to people who are feeding people for fucking free? How is that even fucking possible? While FEMA, who's parked their fucking camper, doesn't have anybody on the fucking ground. How is that happening?
I think you're in a hotel with all of them.
Listen, I haven't seen a fucking Red Cross anywhere down here. Where the fuck are you? Because I know goddamn well when there's a fucking problem and there's a football game or baseball game or some big event, the first thing you fucking hear is, oh, fucking here, make sure you donate to the American Disaster Relief, the American Red Cross Disaster Relief. Fuck FEMA. It just went in the direction they didn't want it to
go. Well, my point was more to, I'm going to buy some big branded water because they gave us a truckload. You know what? They can do a lot fucking more. And it shouldn't take us asking.
There's a lot of, listen, Chris, there's a lot of companies that don't do, who the fuck is talking? Who the fuck is?
Okay, just getting word from Andy, that is their third truckload that's going down there.
Listen, they don't have to do anything. Chris, they don't have to do anything. There's a lot of...
I'm a big believer in good corporate citizenship. We have a weather page. We do the weather. Like,
sometimes.
That's what we do. We do the weather. We de-weather the weather. How did that turn into taking fire trucks to Kentucky and meeting up with the Cajun Navy in Louisiana? Who, by the way, they are somewhere in Kentucky. I just got a message about that.
It is actually...
You broke up a little bit. You were frozen, but go ahead.
It is not the Cajun Navy that is up here. It is the Commonwealth Cajun Navy.
Okay. One way or the other, just good humans.
Yeah. Look, we saw a fucking need. We got upset by it. I got upset when I saw Waverly, the first place we went to. Fucking place got wiped out and there was nothing about it. Nothing. Some woman posted about her family that was out in Waverly and during a flash flood. I'm like, flash flood? What are you talking about? And I looked, I was like, holy fuck. So then we dug around and she sent me pictures. We messaged back and forth. And I was like, fuck this, Chris, we're going to organize shit, see what we can get. And I'm going to Tennessee. Which, ironically, Waverly, very, very close to Mayfield. Very close.
Yeah. So I'm going to make one more plug here. Venmo at DeWeather. If you would like to contribute cash of some sort, that is greatly appreciated. Visit ky.deweathercenter.com. There's some fuel sponsorships there, hoodies, t-shirts, stickers, all the info's there as well.
For those who may be wondering, this trip so far, all of the gas, the couple meals that I've eaten, and these 2 hotel rooms, I have paid for that. Your money has not gone to this. I have paid for this out of my pocket. So please don't think that I'm living in, well, first, I'm not, I trust me, I'm not living in the lap of luxury in these hotels. But it's the money, your money is not paying for these hotels. My money is. I just want to make that very clear. Your money will be paying for gas at some point here soon. But the only thing your money has gone to thus far is for those people who were donations and supplies to feed the flood victims. So far, that's where your money has gone.
Rich Young checking in, by the way. Your connection is a little, Kentucky has smoking rooms, but no Wi-Fi.
That's why I'm telling you, I don't live in the lap of luxury. I think I have 2 the Wi-Fi. Is it good though?
You're not bad.
All right, so the video is probably best not being good as long as the audio is okay.
Yeah, the audio's going a little wonky here. Rich says, we see that fancy room. Is that a vibrating bed?
All right, let's not go that direction in this video, okay?
Um, yeah, to get back on point, this has been a difficult day, more from a logistical standpoint than anything else.
Today was exhausting, literally exhausting. I didn't never sleep last night. We've been going all day.
Yeah. Tomorrow is going to be an emotionally difficult day.
Tomorrow's going to be a taxing day for sure. Tonight I will get some rest because I'm exhausted, and I will fall asleep easily tonight and it's the morning. On a level tomorrow, it is going to be very taxing tomorrow. Very taxing.
Do we have anything in a...
I'm telling you, the videos that we post eventually tomorrow are going to be difficult videos to listen to and to hear and to watch and to see. But do it. Fucking do it. And share them. And at some point during that video, close your eyes for 30 seconds or a minute and just listen to the voice without looking at anything. And you will get a whole new appreciation for that story being told. And share those videos. Like those videos. That helps us a lot behind the scenes with the algorithms. If you haven't watched something on YouTube, please go there. Just let it on while you're doing it. Click like and hit a comment of some sort. And then share it if you wouldn't mind. It helps us a lot.
Speaking as somebody who does the streaming side of things for a living, that is the single most important thing anybody can do. Likes, shares, comments, the more you check in, the more you interact, the more the algorithm thinks this is content the world needs to see.
For those people that are watching this and you're looking at the ticker, those names under the bottom with the numbers in parentheses are people who went to ky.theweathercenter.com and purchased fuel, if you will. They paid $10 increments. They paid 10, if they paid 5, if you see a 5, it's 50, and so on, who are helping to pay for fuel. And that money, I promise you, is going to go to fuel very soon. So thank you.
There's a lot that goes into these things. Some of this stuff that they need down here, I don't know that it's possible for us to pull off some of. Generators are a big ask. That's a lot of money. I get some of that. Yeah. That is a big ask. If you're able to, we will get it there. I mean, little things. We started the disaster team collecting the things that people don't ordinarily think of.
Mm-hmm.
We collected pet food. We collected feminine hygiene supplies. I'm trying to think of the other stuff off the top of my head. But
baby formula, diapers.
Yeah. The stuff that people don't think of that they go, oh shit, yeah, I guess they do need that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll take it. If you have it, we will 100%. Get it there.
We will find the person that needs it.
You have some old shovels out in the shed, drop them off at one of the locations. We will get shovels. They literally need shovels and rakes to clean the mud out. Cleaning supplies, that stuff.
They need to literally shovel homes. If you look at the firehouse pictures from today, look at the floor of the firehouse. Chris, you got any questions or comments?
Here's a perfect example of that, by the way.
Yeah.
The Disabled American Veterans Building. That building's up on stilts. And the mud and the water was 3/4 of the way up the door of that building.
You can see the debris in the lattice work of that railing. That sign is completely submerged. You know what, Chris, go back to that picture for a second. Is that a camera under the vent? God, I want to see that video.
Yes, it is.
I want to see that video.
I think we have a spot you're stopping back to tomorrow.
100%. I want to see that video.
The next two images are the substation, the electrical substation. That was a regular chain link fence that is now covered in debris. Here's the building. The next one is a building that, what was that part of? The electric company?
It was, so this is the electric substation, and this is the electric company garage building that was there. That's it. Listen, there are, as I was driving into Feisty today, there is shit like 40, 50 feet above the water level now. What's a lot? 40, 50 feet up, or like I saw a washing machine like 40 feet up a tree. Buildings, sheds, mobile homes wrapped around trees. Parts of buildings, there are some homes that were elevated up on hills away from the creek who were perfectly safe. But strewn in the front yard are cars, people's clothing, parts of buildings, parts of mobile homes, pieces, campers, everything you can imagine, just strewn about. Entire forest was fucking flattened by the water.
One of the things,
completely washed out.
Bridges, the actual infrastructure to get around and get to people in need is wrapped around trees and telephone poles.
There are places still in Pike. God, why can I never remember the county that Feisty's in? Thorne? No. Top. Top County? What the fuck county is it in? I don't remember. No.
Not.
Thank you. Not County, Pike County. Not Pike and Thatcher counties. They still haven't gotten to because they can't. Completely inaccessible. Like the mountains, literally, you cannot drive more than 20 feet here on any fucking road and not see a giant mudslide where the hill has just been washed out. Every single road along the creek at some point on that road is undermined. Nothing under the McCaffrey. Nothing. So if you aren't paying attention or somebody moves cones, you're going to drive over that and go down through that ginormous cavern down into the ravine. The damage up here to the landscape alone is fucking incredible. It's going to take years to clean up. Years from now, you'll be able to drive around some of these hollers and there will still be debris.
Unfortunately, when this is not affluent territory.
No, it's not.
There are entire families that will have been washed away, and everything that was their life is going to lay wherever it lies.
There's a fella at Feisty, a fire volunteer at Feisty, who lost his home and a very close relative, who is living in the now mold growing, mildew infested second floor of the firehouse because he has nowhere to go.
It's absolutely unreal. There's no other way to say it.
This should be one of those things that every network news and every cable news program should do an hour-long special on. Fuck Supreme Court decisions. Fuck with that decision, this decision, that vote, this vote, that price, this price. Fuck that tax, fuck this tax. Fuck that politician and this politician. Fuck all the political parties. Stop wasting your time on that bullshit. You can't make a difference airing that crap. You should be airing this. Take 1/2 hour or hour of your fucking programming. Stop all the divisive bullshit. Pull the country together because they will come together if you point them here and help these people. They And again, going back to what we said, Chris, this is why DeSASTER TEAM started. It's exactly why we started. to bring attention to things and to help as much as we can. We said it today numerous times. The whole reason disaster team exists, as much shit as possible, as quickly as possible, to the people who need the shit as quickly as possible. That's why disaster team exists. And Cody, if you're watching this, we curse a lot on the
weather. We may have to do an actual weather explainer video at some point. Let's recap. Let's get ready to close this out. We're about an hour in.
Yeah.
Easily the most awkward part of your day today has been the people asking, "What is the weather?"
Whenever a natural disaster happens and we start doing disaster teams, push the wind of it. And especially now when I start reaching out to the affected areas and contact EMA directors and police chiefs and fire chiefs and politicians locally, first, what is the weather? And I almost just want to hang up the phone. I don't know how to describe the weather in a way that doesn't make it seem like it's this blasphemous, profanity-laden shit show, which it is. But there's no way. You have to experience the weather to understand the weather, because there's no way to legitimately and properly and thoroughly describe what the weather is to someone who doesn't know what the weather is. There's just no way to do
it. Yeah, this is.
We could make that a concept. Describe weather in one paragraph.
Is shit show a one word, or is that two?
I think it's one.
I think it might be.
If it's shit show like circus, it's one. If it's shit show like two girls, one cup, it's two.
I thought we weren't going there with this video.
I was just trying to differentiate the difference between shit show and show.
Oh my god. Yeah, we're like I said, we're closing in here on an hour. Sum up the day very succinctly, and let's.
It was a long day. Today was a drain day. A lot of driving around, and a lot of, and frankly, a lot of first visual impact of this whole situation, and just trying to get our bearings on things. Tomorrow will be an emotionally taxing day for everyone, but it needs to happen.
Yes, I would say expect a good bit of content, less live, significantly less live content tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be about capturing as many stories as we possibly can. And
we will do WYCEL. We will do WYCEL at 9 tomorrow morning, but other than that, I don't know if there'll be another live tomorrow.
Yeah, quite possibly not. Maybe we'll do another wrap up at night.
Maybe, yeah.
But once again, I will say this: fantastic work, bud. As always, fantastic work.
Moving on. If there's anything that any of you guys want me to try and find tomorrow, a story. If you have a family member down here somewhere, message us. I'll see if I can find them and talk to them for you. If there is a story you want me to find, a type of story you want me to find to tell tomorrow, I'll try and do that. You tell me what you want to see and hear tomorrow, and I will try and do that. And Chris, listen, thank you. That's very kind of you. But as you know, I'm the person, again, who is, I guess, is the camera, who people see. But you, and again, everyone else behind the scenes, this would not be anything without you guys. And frankly, without all these names at the bottom of the screen and all the people who have donated things, that would be nothing.
I appreciate the kind words. By the way, quick thank you, Sarah. Thank you very much for your donation, your contribution. We appreciate it. Um,
I I lost 2 weeks of work last week and the week before because of an incident at work that almost killed me. And then I got COVID. It's my third time. Woohoo! Waiting for the monkeypox now. Um, so I went back to work Sunday for one day because it's the 70th anniversary. And then this happened, and I took off again all week. I am not a wealthy man, but this is important stuff. This is important stuff. And I'm funding this out of my own pocket here. So that's how much this means to me. I believe in doing this shit. If you watch my personal Facebook page for friends on Facebook, you saw my post last week. I want to do more good for people. That's for the rest of my life. That is my goal. I want to do more good for people that need good things to happen to them, and particularly the disaster team type of things. I want to do more good, and I'm going to do more good. And this is proof of the pudding.
we have a fantastic suggestion, by the way, from Tom Hosgood.
Okay, fine. Oh, sorry.
And I am going to read this exactly as is. Those other fuckers do local weather on the 8s. Do weather needs to do a weather break at 69 minutes into these videos. Local on the 69s.
When we do a long video, we should absolutely do that.
Yes, I will have to. I will have to start a counter or something. So make sure when we're 69 minutes in, we know to do a weather break.
We just had a Max Headroom moment there. For those of you old enough to remember Max Headroom.
Yeah. Could you imagine if we did that? Holy shit!
Yes.
If this right here.
For those of you that don't know what we're talking about, go to YouTube and search Max Headroom.
God, we would so go to prison for a long time, but it might be worth it.
I mean, look, I don't have to go far. I can walk to the penitentiary. It's right down the street.
We booked Peter's hotel room today, and you look up the town on the map, and not only is it home to the county penitentiary, but also a federal minimum and medium security federal penitentiary.
I can open my door, step out on the balcony, and I can see them. Like I'll read out, jailbreak! Yeah, I'm gonna create a problem.
Oh.
Kentucky women's penitentiary. Can we get a hotel room next to that tomorrow?
Lori, Erica, if you're listening, let's see if we can find Peter the women's penitentiary for a room next to.
I mean,
you would get into trouble there.
Audience. Yes, I fucking will. I assure you, the best I've ever done.
Oh, all right, but we should get out of here.
Questions left? No, we're missing. No comments. We're missing.
No. Rich Young says if you stayed across the street, the room would have been cheaper and you would have gotten free food.
Yes, he's not wrong.
He is very much not wrong. Mark Trumbore is thrilled with the Max Headroom, by the way. Anna Higgins, I definitely to remember Max Headroom.
Mark Trumbore has a Twisted Sister tattoo. He is obligated to enjoy Max Headroom.
Wait, whoa. Cody is checking in. Fun fact, you're 2 towns over from the first KFC.
No, Chris, go to the Inner Circle right now and look. There is a Harlan Sanders Museum right down the road. Right down. It's 27 minutes from here.
Wait, okay, let's explain here. Cody, we have an official Kentucky colonel in Kentucky handling the relief efforts here. There may be a visit to the Kentucky Colonel store, and definitely a visit to the Harlan Sanders Museum.
Cody, all jokes aside, I was ordained, um, bestowed. Yes, I was bestowed the honor of a Kentucky colonel a couple weeks ago. I had the certificate and everything. You can find that
Yes.
on our page if you scroll back a week or two.
Yes, that was after the relief efforts to Mayfield, uh, which basically was $5 million or so worth of fire equipment, apparatus. I mean, we literally took stations, plural, worth of stuff to rebuild
Well, to be
the
fair,
Mayfield Fire
that was
Department.
the excuse. That was the excuse we used. We found out that I could become a Kentucky colonel, and we started talking about National Bourbon Day.
That is absolutely correct.
That is the true story.
Oh
We
man,
become a Kentucky colonel.
Rich Young has an idea as well here, which we may have to. We'll see. We were
Just
going to
one second.
surprise you. Oh,
Do you remember watching the Desert Shield videos back in the day?
like when the war started live on CNN?
Yes, and the
Yes.
reporters were like in their hotel studs and all.
Yes.
That's exactly what my picture looks like right now. I've been trying to think what it looks like. That's exactly what it is. I am a CNN news reporter in Riyadh in my hotel room with Scud missiles being shot out of the sky by Patriot missiles.
Oh my God. Dawn is checking in. Lori just posted where the Women's Correctional Institution is.
Is it by the Kentucky Colonel store? Chris, do you know Cody is only like 11 miles from me?
That is correct. If you had bought bourbon at the overpriced bourbon store, you could have been drinking a bourbon with Cody.
Yeah.
Or by yourself.
Where do I find a repriced bourbon in Kentucky? Because I thought it would be cheaper in Kentucky. It ain't. Well, not the store I went to, Liquor World or whatever it's called. Not cheap.
Oh, Anna Higgins saying you're Wolf Blitzer.
Yes. Yes, I am. Without the beard. I shaved this morning.
And the hair. He shaved that this morning, too.
Yeah, no. Shave yourself.
The Women's Correctional Institution will find out what else he shaved tomorrow.
Hey, no. They might have a barbershop.
Okay, Cody says you got to go into the Lexington, Georgetown, Frankfort area up north.
Well, you know what? That is where the Kentucky Colonel store is.
That is correct. I think a field trip is in order. We might, you know what? That might be the one we go live for.
But is that why we're here?
Well, it could be partly.
I mean, I could go back through West Virginia. I would have to go up that way.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. We're not talking about taking away from covering stories and helping people and doing the right thing. I'm talking about at some point you have to come home. Well, at least you should.
Do I really have to?
There's
Can we just make this disaster team thing a perpetual traveling show?
Yes, we could.
I would love to. Anyway.
Yeah, we'll get there.
We were going to end this 21, 18, 14, 7, 5, and 3 minutes ago, and it's 9:24.
Yeah, we should probably get the hell out of here.
For the 10th time. All right, so if there's no other comments or questions, come on camera real quick, and we'll end it together.
All right, buddy. Rich Young says California is on fire.
California is always on fire.
California is a dumpster fire.
All right, man. And Lori and Rich and Joe and Andy and oh god, Eric.
Can we just say the fuckers on Discord?
The behind the scenes crew.
Yes. Mission Control.
Mission Control. Yes. The Mission Control.
Oh my god, that's a sticker.
The Mission Control.
Yes, there is an actual Mission Control patch that I guarantee you we can do weather.
Is that like the Dota 1 patch?
Sort of.
You know, I know the Rescue 51 does patches and hats. Maybe we need to put a Dildo 1 patch on a hat.
But Dildo 1 didn't get off the ground.
Oh, wait, we have Dildo 2 now.
Right.
Launches from the back. Launches from the back door.
At kickball, when we're letting bottle rockets out of Bubba's ass, that may be Dildo 1.
All right, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. for WYCEL. There will be some laughs and some humor, surely at some point during WYCEL tomorrow morning. But there's no guarantees it will be after that tomorrow. Tomorrow could be a pretty somber day, and it should be. We should take a little bit of time here to actually soak in what's really happening down here. I know we like to make a lot of light of it, but at some point, especially because of the scale and the scope and the massive need that still exists here, we need to bring it down a little bit back to reality, and the reality's harsh, frankly. So tomorrow's going to be a somber day. After WYCEL.
We may have a special guest joining us for WYCEL tomorrow. Cody has downloaded Discord. He's going to be signing up now so he can join the party.
Very nice, Cody. Very nice. Welcome to the weather, by the way, Cody. Everyone, welcome Cody in the comments. Cody, welcome to Cody. You might be our first actual real Kentucky fan. I mean, there are some Mayfield people that follow us, and some new people from around here know that are aware of the weather. But you might be the first one who has organically become a weather fan.
They do like to hang out.
You are like the Beverly Hillbillies. You stumbled upon gold. You weren't looking for it. You were shooting at some coon, but up came some bubbling to weather crude.
Let's go. Get the hell out of here.
I love you all, ladies. I love you a little bit more. We'll see you tomorrow morning for WYCEL at 9 a.m. Have a good night. Be nice to each other. And ky.theweathercenter.com or the weather event.